I've always had polycystic ovaries. It's always been an odd thing because I don't fit the typical person with polycystic ovaries. When my husband and I decided that, that's what we wanted, we were living in Maryland at the time, and we got lucky in that we got pregnant with a cycle of Clomid, and we had our daughter, who is now 9, and she's awesome. A couple years go by and we're still in Maryland at a place called Shady Grove Fertility. And we tried that route again, didn't work. So we ended up getting lucky again in that we did a few cycles of injectables and got our second daughter, Lucy, who is now 7. The nice thing in Maryland was that we had awesome insurance, and insurance covered IVF, or at least most of it, and all these different things. So it was less stressful. So we wanted to move back to the area to be with family and whatever. And we were like, oh, we always wanted a third. Like, we should do it now while we have the insurance. Okay, so we go back thinking we could do the injections and things like that. Doesn't work, overstimulated, canceled cycles, just typical kind of polycystic ovarian stuff. We meet with the fertility doctor and she's like, you're producing like 25 eggs. Like, it's just not safe anymore for us to move forward with this route. If you really want to do this, IVF is going to have to be what we do. So we're like, oh my goodness, like this is supposed to be like our last shot, like whatever. But we did it, and we ended up having 10 embryos out of that. So we did a single embryo transfer, and we have our daughter, Janie, who's now 5. We have her, and we're feeling like our family's complete, but we are more me. My husband was he would have been done at 1. He's a good sport. Moved up here, and I'm like, and there's 10 embryos, and like, there's so many people that can't, like, what do we do? Like, I just feel like we should just try for one more. And I called here, and I don't know who I spoke to, but I was like, here's the deal. Like, I came from another place. I've got 10 embryos. Like, what do I do? And they were so nice. Like, when I called, it was like I was inquiring about like fruit or bakery or car. Like, it was like, oh, no big deal. Here's what you do, and we'll ship them up and we'll store them for you. And whenever you're ready, an idea that I thought was crazy, they made me feel like not a big deal. Okay, So ended up doing a frozen embryo transfer, went through the process here. Didn't work out for the first one. For the second one, I did acupuncture, and ended up transferring 2 embryos that weren't quite as good. It was like our last straw. We were like, if this doesn't work out, like, it just wasn't meant to be, whatever. We'll just donate them to science, the embryos. And we ended up getting our twins, Maxwell and Jonathan, who just turned 3. The biggest difference between where we were, Shady Grove Fertility is like world renowned. Like, they were amazing, and we were very blessed. We have our 3rd daughter from them. But CNY was very different in that they addressed everything. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but one thing that stressed us out was like insurance didn't cover really anything here, and it was significantly cheaper. Where we were like, well, we can kind of justify this. And they were just great. Like, their financial people were fantastic. And I just remember coming in here like in the mornings for like your blood work, and when they check your ovaries and all that, and everyone was just super nice. And I liked how like little things, like they did your blood work in one of their little rooms, and it wasn't at my other fertility place. We were like lined up like cattle to get blood drawn, and it was like so impersonal. But they got to know me and where I taught and my daughters, and they were really invested, in us, which I thought was really awesome. I felt like going through like IVF and all this, like when my kids are crazy or there's things going on, I'm like, whatever. Like, there's nothing that can faze me. I mean, I remember like doing progesterone shots at work and just crazy stuff, So be in the moment and enjoy your spouse, especially if it's your first. I know, like, it sucks, like, for lack of a better term, but enjoy your spouse, enjoy that time. We laugh about it now. Like, oh, remember when I was giving you shots in your stomach? I think it brought us closer together. And I think that we just have this amazing love for each other and for our kids. So just try to be strong and work through it. There is hope for people with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Come to CNY. I mean, really, they will make you feel comfortable and empowered. And you guys really helped us. And I can't imagine life now without the twins. So I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. I don't know if I thank you, tonight when somebody's up throwing up or whatever, but yeah.